Today's landmark $17.1 billion multi-state settlement with Meta is a historic victory for youth online safety. But state leaders say it's only the first step. The Massachusetts Attorney General's office is already shifting its sights to an ongoing lawsuit against another social media giant, TikTok. Western Mass News reporter Madison Lisowski is live in the studio tonight with what this pending legal battle could mean for protections and funding in local classrooms. Madison.
Amanda, Attorney General Andrea Joy Campbell made it clear today that Meta is not the only tech giant targeting our kids. The state's pending lawsuit against TikTok accuses the company of deliberately designing its platform to addict young users and exploit their vulnerabilities. State prosecutors are using the same groundbreaking legal strategy that worked against Meta just today. They hope it forces TikTok to implement similar sweeping design changes to protect students here in Western Massachusetts. Now, that historic ruling today proved that big tech cannot hide behind federal free speech laws when states challenge how their products are designed. The Meta settlement delivers up to $516 million here to Massachusetts, and districts are already looking at how potential TikTok funds could eventually foster safer classrooms. Right now, the state is struggling with a youth mental health crisis spurred by app addiction, cyberbullying, and distractions in schools.
Parents should not have to become the experts just to protect their kids. Schools should not have to fight big tech alone. And young people should not have to bear the burden of fixing products that were designed to capture their attention and oftentimes exploit them.
The Attorney General made an emotional case for families today, arguing that reforms from both Meta and TikTok are vital to reducing the distractions that show up in classrooms daily. Now, the state is already investing directly in local districts through a $500,000 phone-free school support grant. Officials are applauding the Meta settlement today as a floor, hoping it will empower the legislature to act on the proposed Study Act to manage smartphone distractions. Reporting live in studio, Madison Lisowski, Western Mass News.